Tonight, as Primetime returns to the modern-day Coliseum, as two highly respected Xbox players look to climb the ladder to the most richest prize in the company's history, the Xbox Championship. Entering first, BFAP Dirty Dave, a man who has graduated from the Academy of Jiu-Jitsu and holds an overwhelming presence in the octagon. His ferocious takedowns and pressure style makes him one of the most deadliest players on the scene right now, and doesn't intend on stopping his rise to the top anytime soon. Dave, tonight I'm coming for revenge. This cheeseball back-sitting rear naked choked me on ranked a couple months ago, and tonight I get the chance to right those wrong. Those are the words spoken by the ever-mighty BFAP member. In order for Dave to exact his revenge he speaks of, he must defeat one man. TFA Dragon, a man, has beaten Dirty Dave once before, albeit it was full of controversy, but a victory nonetheless. TFA Dragon is coming into this bout with a lot of confidence, and most importantly, he understands how to beat Dirty Dave. I'm going to do my best to keep the fight standing. Dave is great everywhere, but I want to stand toe to toe and cement myself as the better mixed martial artist. The last place you want Dave is on his back, and hopefully we can make it a good fight for the fans. With those words of TFA Dragon, will he be able to unleash the volume of punches and combinations onto Dirty Dave? Or will Dirty Dave be able to exact his revenge on the man who he feels cheated out of a victory all those months ago? Tonight it's personal, and both men are coming for war. Welcome to Primetime.
What is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? I am your host, Cyrus the Looney, and joining me in the commentary booth for this epic card that we have ahead of us for Fight Night 46 is going to be the one and only Doctor Who, the Damian Maya main, and Matty D. How you doing, lads?
I'm doing well. As you can see, we've got a stacked card tonight, Matty. You've got the main event of two former campmates. You've got Slick fighting as well, and so across the board, this is a fun card.
Oh, of course, I can't wait for that main event. Dirty Dave versus TFA Dragon. It's a fight we've already seen happen before. Obviously, Dragon had a little bit of controversy in that win. Dirty Dave, obviously one of the greatest grapplers on this game. He's been in the top 10 of the ESFL and top 10 of Primetime for God knows how long now. He's been a mainstay of the community for so long now. Looney, is there any other fights throughout the card which you think stands out here?
Yeah, honestly, basically every single fight that makes the cards these days is one that stands out, in all honesty, but I'm looking forward to Bulk Out Bully up against Purple Urkel. I think that's going to be some madness, and definitely some fireworks leading into the co-main and main event, which are obviously stacked as always. But looking further down the card, lads, if we, to be honest with you, this very first fight is good between S&B Clover and TFA Bellamy. We're not going to waste too much time kind of throughout the card, but this fight has the kind of hallmarks of an interesting one here, Doc. All fireworks ahead of us. The S&B boys, the TFA boys, they come with a really kind of well-rounded skill set, and a lot of the time they're really pushing for that finish. You don't really see these guys trying to, kind of huckster decisions out of guys or point fight necessarily. There's a lot of killers in the rankings of both camps.
Yeah, SMB have recently been re-established in themselves. Former part, they train with EK, especially. You got Hammer, who's a very well-known grappler. Clover, on the other hand, has always been more of this pressure boxing style, so I'm expecting him to come out, use that jab quite effectively, and look to put on the pressure. TFA, on the other hand, have members such as Pug, and now Pug is really good at managing that distance, using that jab straight as well, so I'm kind of expecting this to be a jabbing battle, my hit, Matty.
I mean, yeah, obviously, S&B Clover, he's a mainstay, as you can see. He's been around for a long time, but he's recently joined that S&B camp. That S&B camp, they've been known as, they're a bit more passive fighters, a bit more kind of back foot. I want to see what I can read off you, maybe take you down here and there, but the TFA Alarmy coming in here, you got to think that all that work with players such as Pug and Dragon in the main event is going to pay off, Looney.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, TFA camp that was formed under Pug over there, got a lot of good guys with him, and he's been working hard, man. Those guys in that camp, they really have been putting it all together, and you've seen the results, kind of displayed, and that's why you see Crazy Dragon in the main event, kind of going across from some killers like Dirty Dave. He deserves to be there, as to a lot of the guys, much like Pug do, Doc. They fight through, like I said, they go for active finishes, and with the way that the ranking system is divvied up so that you get extra points for those finishes, just added incentive for those boys and testament to the why to why both camps find themselves getting propelled up those rankings.
Yeah, extra rank points means big more. Words. Extra rank points means higher ranking position, which means a better fights overall, and that is your aim here. The best way to build a title fight, get a bunch of 1-round KOs here, mate.
I mean, you're seeing early on here, S&B Clover just trying to use that jab to establish some distance. TFA Bellamy going with the, pardon me, Kelvin Gastelum pick, but gets sat straight on his back straight away, Looney.
Yeah, this is what you want from S&B Clover, right? If you're S&B Clover, like you say, train with a very diverse set of fighters coming from the EK and S&B boys, but especially with that pick, right? Belal Muhammad, Doc, this is what you want. You want to work your jab, be very, very defensive on the feet, try to avoid as much damage as you can, and then take the fight into your world, which is the wrestling game, especially when you're on top.
Yeah, making sure your wrestling game is secure and you're patient on the ground, especially with a lot of time to work. An early takedown is what you need here, and now he's just got to make sure that he does enough damage whilst also making stable. Someone like Muhammad, that's a viable choice. Gaslam's got the wrestling pedigree on top, but off his back, he's kind of less of a threat, and so keeping him here is the ideal place here, Matt.
Oh, armbar attempt there. Don't really think that's going to be much of a threat right now, but it's just trying to give him something to think about. But right now, it kind of seems that S&B Clover's just comfortably taking control of this fight. As I say that, but he gets the slam, going to get the side control, see if he can hold it. But right now, he's just kind of cruising. He's just trying to secure a first round in the bag and force that pressure out of Kelvin Gastelum in the second round, Looney.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kelvin Gastelum, though, definitely a durable fighter, right? He doesn't exactly get tired or not known for it for the most part. I think he's going to be okay. He seems to be honestly doing pretty good job right now, Bellamy does, in terms of mitigating a lot of the offense that S&B Clover's able to put on, Doc, but ultimately not going his way because, of course, he's basically taking away the clock right now, just kind of tuning him up little by little, trying to attack that face, trying to attack that body health a little bit, and just get ahead in terms of a round, making sure that you're a round down in this fight. It's going to give you a lot of confidence going forward.
Well, 1 round down, another 2 to work, and that's always what you want to be doing, especially going for a grappling approach. If you can build your confidence, make your opponent scared of that takedown, that is the core idea. Making sure he can't get up for the entirety of the round. You can hold him for another minute. That's basically you won the entire round by pure grappling, and that means he's going to be scared of that takedown, and that's a constant threat you can have. And that allows your hands to open up further into the fight here, Matt.
I mean, I can't see the health stats out of TFA Bellamy, but it doesn't really seem to be that he's taking too much damage. Some of these elbows from side control are getting through, though, gets a crucifix position. But right now, he's just securing this round in the bank, Looney.
Yeah, look, this is the way you want to start a fight if you're Belal, man. It couldn't have gone any better for him. In all honesty, I think it was a really smart game plan from him, Doc, making sure that he takes his opponent, TFA boys, who, are known for being well-rounded, but they have a lot of fighters like Crazy Dragon who are particularly known for bringing those hands. So taking him out of that kind of A game and making him fight on the back foot going into the second round may potentially lead to him making some mistakes and puts Belal in a very, very nice position heading forward.
Yeah, you can already see that jab. He's now landed a couple shots with that straight on the pullback, and a body kick fires there. Now working that body as well. Just slow shots, steady and calm, waiting for his opponent to make a mistake. And with the grappling as a strike, that's probably going to keep his hand low, but it means that Gastelum's going to have his head open a bit more here, Matt.
I mean, everyone says it, but it's something that stays true no matter what. The wrestling opens up the hands. And right now you're seeing that S&B Clover, he's just walking him down and he's having a home for all of these different combinations which he's throwing here, Looney.
Yeah, for sure, brother. I honestly, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Bellamy going to the body, right? And he's trying to look for those pull counters. But right now, Belal Muhammad looks in the zone. Everything he's landing is very, very efficient, not really missing too many shots. And when he shoots, more often than not, he's getting it, Doc. And that high takedown accuracy is paying dividends for him in this fight. He's shot 2, got 2 takedowns. I am amazed that he separated, and that's got to have been a mistake, right?
Why? Why has he
I
done
mean,
that?
you've got the better position though there. You've gone from a half guard to side control. Now you can look for a top man if you want to. It also keeps your opponent on the guard. It's maybe not the best idea, but if you're confident in your grappling, if you're confident of retaking that position and reshooting at any point, as you mentioned, he's had 2 takedown shots and both have succeeded. You could just want to disengage, re-engage, disengage, re-engage. It's a viable attempt here, mate.
I mean, right now, TFA Bellamy's just not really doing anything off his back except surviving. He's just kind of waiting it out, at saying, oh, I'll get back up to B feet eventually. But the thing is, he's not. He's wasting valuable time in this fight right now. And it's costing him damage for when they're back on the feet eventually, even if that's at the start of the next round. He's costing himself the round, most importantly, Looney.
Yeah, and just to track it back to you, right, Matty, I feel like when it does get back on the feet now, he has to not really look to play that counter game. I feel like he needs to be first playing a little bit of block breaking and try to really, really put his opponent in some difficult waters because he's coasting. You've got to make him make a mistake.
I know you can't be the one coasting when you're the one losing the fight. That's what he seems to be doing right now. But at the same time, you could be thinking, oh, he wants me to rush in because he knows that I'm down in this fight. It's a horrible position to be in the middle of a fight when you know you're down on both round and health stats. As he gets caught with a beautiful uppercut there. Good slip. He is getting some shots in, but the thing is, Doc, it's just not doing enough.
Yeah, and that's the issue sometimes when you have someone who's going to grapple, who's going to use that jab, as you can see, just put the pressure on, but also make sure his defense is up high, is that you just can't get a damage off, and so you're kind of hoping for one big shot, but if you're not willing to engage, if you're only going to walk backwards, which is kind of the thing Gastelum is doing, at some point you've got to go, I need to stand my ground, I need to fire back, I need to fire back heavy and hard here, Looney.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, right? But there he gets clipped, and that's one of the problems. At the end of the round, he decided to pick it up, and that's when it's the most obvious, Maddie, because we know in the last 30 seconds, 60 seconds of a round, people go hell for leather more often than not. You give them an opportunity to throw some hands, and they're going for it.
You see, this is what I always tell to people. If you're going to do something, just fucking do it. Don't wait until the end of the round. Like people who go and throw a front kick randomly at the end of the round. You know for a fact that somebody's just going to slip and it's going to miss. Just go for it. And it seems to be that he's taking that approach right now. He's putting on a little bit more forward pressure, but he's not really getting the reactions out of the health bar that we want to be seeing right now, Looney.
I think this is a little bit better for him, though. He's obviously playing high risk, high reward. He's got the third and final round here ahead of him, Doc. But he does get caught again. S&B Clover playing this perfectly so far here this evening. He's got 3 minutes 45 left on the clock, Doc, and he seems to be working that jab. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that jab is just fantastic. He's poking it once, then giving it a break, coming forward, putting the pressure on just by always making sure it's there. You see a couple more, finally gets slipped on. That was a lovely counter hook. Sadly, he didn't do any more damage. Tried to dig down to body, finally catches that body kick with the knee, clips him.
He's getting the
finish down.
God damn. Gotta be it.
Jesus, he's going close. Nearly.
Nope, he's going to survive. He survived.
That's a lovely defense. That round definitely still isn't going in his favor, but Gastelum's definitely added a repertoire to his defense and now disengaging from the grappling here, mate. Got to imagine maybe a stack guard is in order.
What the fuck? Why are you doing this? What?
Confusion.
I am beyond baffled. I've never seen this before.
Oh, beyond confusing at times, but look, maybe he's just playing some mental warfare, getting up for a moment, giving his opponent a second to think that they're getting back up. No, maybe he's getting the finish though as well, Manny. Those points, brother. Those points. He wants to finish in a virtually flawless performance. If he can get one, that really puts the exclamation point on this one. And he gets
it seems obvious that he's going to get it. He's got 2 minutes and he's just lighted his fucking
Finally see a stat guard and does get the slip. Lovely job there. Can disengage. Now digging to the body. Uppercut and a hook as well. He's got to be careful with that stam because you know that one wrong move with low stamina could all be it for him there, Looney.
Yes, sir. Oh my God, man! That lead hook off the jab. You think, Maddie? You think, and it is.
There you go. Finally got it.
The chin of Kevin Gastelum not able to stand up that time, but that was a really, really kind of flawless performance from S&B Clover coming into this fight. Like I said, Doc, dialed in with a game plan, and he executed it flawlessly.
Yeah, executed it flawlessly, got the takedowns early on, did the damage there, and then as the fight went on, he brought it more up to the feet and offered different kind of styles, different attributes to his entire game plan. Also used that jab very effectively, and when he was getting pressured by Gaslam in the end of round 3, he took it and then took it back at him harder, and then got the finish there.
I mean, that was pretty much just a flawless performance all the way around. He barely got caught the entire fight. His health bar never went beyond losing a quarter of his health. I could swear, looking at his health stats keenly throughout the entire fight. But saying that, we move on to the next fight. Proxer versus OG Kingwix 31. Looney, what you thinking?
Honestly, I hear good things, man. I hear good things. Of course, this is on the PlayStation side of the equation. These two guys are meant to be some very good strikers. I don't think I've had the pleasure of calling their fights before, Doc. Correct me if I'm wrong, but have you called either Proxer or Kingwix fights yourself?
I believe I may have called a Kingwix fight. I think he's a striker overall. Can't say I particularly remember him. Maybe this fight will be a bit more memorable overall, just because sometimes the way it goes. These two are going to be in the lightweight division. We're going to see McGregor versus Masvidal.
Yeah, I'm assuming, Maddie, you saw what I saw, brother. Although this is in 4K, and like somehow whoever's streaming this, their connection is AA1. They're on a stable 300, so I'm assuming one of these guys might be Aussie. I used to fight with one of the guys. I know you know him, Doc. The good old Dover Blazin'. Had a ping like this, but it was stable, right? And the fights were actually good.
Yeah, I've done a league fight in prime time against Dover. I think it was an anti-penalty mirror, and we enjoyed the hell of it. It was a fairly stable ping, but
well, we'll have to see.
Forget
Aussie ping. From what I've seen there, it looked like somebody in Japan fighting somebody on a ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Oddly specific, man.
Very specific, but we continue.
I
had to think of something.
Well, what's more impressive here, right, is just the fact that this connection is he's able to stream in this type of quality, and they have this sort of ping. Shows that these guys have both got good internet. It doesn't seem to be affecting it, man. This seems like a good fight to start out. They're not wasting any time, Maddie. Not wasting any time at all. Throwing those hands and throwing them quickly.
The head health of OG Kingwix has already gotten lower than S&B Clovers did the entire fight.
And it's mainly been jabbed off for a lot of it so far. Masvidal just trying to engage in that jabbing battle, circling out McGregor on the other hand, just throwing a couple or three pieces non-stop here, mate.
I mean, the three pieces are just so accurate. They're blistering through, bludgeoning the head health right now every single time that OG Kingwix wants to come in, and that's just the power of McGregor, Looney.
Yeah, it is, and it's also the timing of Proxer that I see in the chat. Mr. Humbledink out here giving the background on the PS boys. This is actually an FBMF member, and apparently this man is a beast, and he's looking at Doc. He's looking at Stano very, very nicely, really putting the pressure on Masvidal.
Oh, lovely little combo there.
OG Kingwix comes in.
Yeah, they're both just going at it. Goes in for an elbow, doesn't get it. The jab always there, looking for a bit of the head movement as well. He's very effective, even on this thing, as we mentioned so many times before. This is a fantastic striking to see, to be honest, here, mate.
I mean, you can tell a veteran from a veteran just by the knowledge of when to time certain combinations. And you see in Proxer, he's got such good timing on when to throw these combinations. He's thrown the same combinations over and over again. He just... But... Pardon me, Kingwix just doesn't know how to avoid them. Like there, he's kind of just spazzing his head all over the place.
I was going to say, do not stop right there. The combinations need to continue. My God, right now, they are trying for all he can to get that pull counter, Doc, is OG Kingwix, but the pressure from Proxer is something else right now.
Yeah, he's using that jab. You see the jab using the mixture between the jab straight, the jab rear hook, and the jab uppercut. And that combination, that mix-up of combinations there is just working so well because it kind of counters all head movement. If you duck, you meet the uppercut. If you go to the side, you get met with a hook. And if you pull back, you get met with that straight. And that's the part about the simple combinations. It's you just get a read on the person's head movement. You throw that combination, they're no longer going to do that head movement there, mate.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be the longer this fight is going on, the more success that Kingwix is starting to have. Proxer's kind of seemed to let himself go a little bit too much in the early going, and now you're seeing Kingwix start to have a lot more success with them jabs. Look at him coming in, spinning heel kick, gets the head held flashing. Looney, do you reckon we could be seeing a momentum shift here?
You never know, man. You never know. Obviously, Conor McGregor, when the stamina gets a little low or is underneath your opponents, it can be be fighting through some, thick waters right there. But oh my God!
That was a heel kick for the ages. Fantastic job just stealing that round at the end. That was 2 seconds left. Landed it, got the knockdown, got an up kick to save him. That possibly just stole the round when you mentioned momentum shift here, Matty.
I mean, you can always tell. I don't want to be the one to say it, but you can tell. You can kind of tell where the momentum's going if you look at the stamina bar in a fight. I seem to think anyway. And you've seen as that first round was unfolding, the Kingwix was just having a lot more success with the jab, and Proxer was just missing more. Like he's missing there again. Oh, for fuck's sake, commentary curse.
Bro, that left hand of McGregor is no joke, and the combinations from Proxer is something else. He is pressuring like nobody's business, but Wicks trying to throw back anytime he can, Doc, and he's getting some success right here.
Well, that jab has been his most effective tool. Proxer nearly getting clear with that spinning heel kick again, and that is something you've got to be so careful of. The jab, the hooks, they're all coming out again, but again, it's just the range of McGregor. As I say that, though.
Brother, honestly, he needs him out in the next 3 minutes, and he almost has him right here! This might be it,
that's
man!
That's going to be it! Oh, I thought he was going to get the top mount from there. I'm surprised he's still alive after that.
Body, the headshots come out as well.
Finally throws a body shot.
I mean, I'm loving this from Proxer right now. The resilience from Masvidal to stay in it. All fairness to OG King Wicks battling through this storm. Eats another left hand, Matty, and he is pressuring, looking for the finish. He's got 3 minutes 35 to work, my man. That's a lot of time, and he seems to know it. He is working his opponent.
The stamina is starting to even up a little bit. King Wicks is getting desperate and wasting a lot of his stamina on the head moving, but he gets a takedown there. Let's see how long he can hold him down. Doesn't appear to be that it's going to be very long.
I mean, bringing it back to the start of this fight, we did see 130 ping, so we have got to wonder how that's going to affect the grappling overall. But here we see Masvidal just firing shots, posturing up. McGregor going for it, gets a lovely deny, and then going straight into half guard. Probably going to be looking for some more ground and pound, but instead we see a sprawl transition here, Loney.
Yeah, gets caught trying to transition, of course. No, gets the side saddle sort of position taken. Able to stop that back mount, which I find is a little inconsistent at times, right? Sometimes it can be a little bit tough to hit, so good job on hitting it, especially with that higher ping. And he's able to separate as well, Matty D, and I know this is much more in your sort of world, my man. He's going to want to go back to that boxing, but he has to be wary. He's not exactly no spring chicken in this either.
Despite the head health advantage, I think right now this has turned into an uphill battle right now, purely because he's gassed himself a little bit. But he gets the drop there.
But he's done so much damage, right? And I think that's the thing, the trade-off with the stamina against the damage. I think he came in seeing that connection, had a game plan on how he was going to address it, and he's trying to execute. And Wicks is trying to survive, right? And these takedowns are all well and good, and he's getting a bit of time and evening out the rounds in somewhat, but all the big damage here, Dog, is coming the way of Conor McGregor, and that's going to play a big, big factor in the eyes of the judges if this fight makes it another 5 minutes.
Yep, all the damage is coming in that second round, especially it was the case. You had Masvidal's head blinking, but I still think that first round goes to Masvidal. You saw the fly, you saw the spinning heel kick, and that got the knockdown. So I'm expecting it to be 1-1 apiece going into this final round, but the momentum being McGregor as he gets that knockdown, putting on the pressure here. Uppercut hook as well. He's just trying to knock McGregor down.
Well-timed pivot there allows him to escape and come back into this fight, but the head health is very, very low on the side of King Wicks. Every single time he gets touched with the Conor power, it's a different type of situation entirely, Looney.
Yeah, he's worried because the head health is so low that he's going to get caught, but he cannot continue to go second, or this will happen right here. Proxer pouring it on once again, Doc, and he feels like he is moments away from a finish.
Possibly moments, goes into the back seat, and a couple bit damaging back seat could be the ideal though. Gets stuck in full guard with 3 minutes 30 on the clock. Goes to the ground and pound here. Probably going to look for the get up. He's intelligent, and that's what he does. So now getting that jab established. Is on the back foot, ducks into the uppercut.
Oh my God.
Overhand gets the stun. Heel kick somehow not dropped him. Masvidal's gassed out here. There we are. Words.
If he watches this fight back, I think he's going to regret throwing that heel kick, because I think if he had thrown like a hook or an uppercut in there, you could have maybe seen a knockdown rather than that happen there. But, you know, people make mistakes in fights and he gets dropped, and that's got to be a chew. Like, how was he alive? How are you alive? Oh, he's not alive.
He's no longer
dead.
alive.
He's dead.
He's dead. That was a fight and a half. You had McGregor coming out so aggressive in that first round. Looked like he had lost a bit of his momentum early on. Masvidal comes out, gets a knockdown. Second round, though, McGregor comes back and puts a massive pace on him. Makes sure his head was blinking. And that third round was just mental.
Yeah, look, big props here to be given, Matty, in terms of the way that this fight went down for both guys, right? They had a high, they had a high ping coming into this one. It was a stable one, and they decided to go ahead with it, and credit for them on that behalf. But they adjusted, right? I think that Masvidal was a little bit passive, like you said, but that was due to the way that Proxer came into this fight. I think he took the fight by the, took the fight's lead. He decided he was going to be first the entire way through, and that ultimately is what led to him being able to get the damage to get his hand raised.
That was a fight that was won in the first 2 minutes, I would have to believe. You could see in the first 2 minutes at the head health, the difference was just so large instantly, to where he put Kingwicks in a position where he was playing catch up the entire fight. And even with a stamina advantage, when it's that big of a head health difference, sometimes it's too much, Doc.
Yeah, sometimes it's too much, and that stamina difference, the head health difference. It's kind of the idea of if you're going to target one specific body part, if you're going to target the head, make sure you stick to the head and make sure that's your game plan. If you're going to target the body, make sure you target the body. If you're going to target the stamina, make sure you target the stamina and don't gas yourself out at the same time.
Wise words, as always, by the one and only Doctor Who. Got to take the doctor's advice, Matty. Got to take the doctor's advice. Always good for your health, brother. But with that being said, there's a little bit of a change to the graphic ahead of us. We're going to be having two gentlemen that are no kind of newbies to the octagon. Going to be having Kivo 023 up against Blackout War. It is in middleweight, a weight class I know you love as well, Matty, with a lot of great picks. But we're seeing a Kevin Gastelum up against Nick Diaz, which should mean fireworks, brother. They got the abilities to do it everywhere, but I mean, more often than not, this turns out to be a boxing competition, right?
Yeah, you gotta love a Nick Diaz at middleweight. I hope to God for whoever's picked Kelvin Gastelum, there's not going to be a boxing contest, because that's going to be a slaughter in that case. You're gonna have to. I hope to God that Kelvin Gastelum starts wrestling, because Nick Diaz's boxing at middleweight is unmatched by almost anyone. But we're seeing a matchup here on between two up and comers here. Blackout War, obviously. He's had a few ESFL fights. He's been around. I've known him for a long time personally, from back in my days in the CAF scene. Not too familiar with, pardon me,
Kivo.
Yeah, that's his name. Thank you. I apologise. But Kivo, this is his chance. He's up against a big name in this position, and let's see what he's able to do, Doc.
Yeah, well, just relating back to your comment about boxers, I definitely think that Robbie Lawler's the best boxer in middleweight, in my opinion, but that can be yours to decide. With these two picks, though, we've seen Gastelum early on. We saw him get wrestled, to put it lightly. Gastelum, though, also has the wrestling option himself. Diaz does have rubber guard, so if we do see it down there, expect this kind of wrestling versus jiu-jitsu game. In terms of the overall striking, Diaz is probably longer got a more established boxing game, but Gastelum does have the level 2 jab, which probably is one of the best jabs in the game here, Looney.
Yeah, exactly right. Opens out with the front kick to the face, or teeth to the body, if you will. Lead. He's going to work that jab very, very nicely and try to attack that inside leg kick. This is excellent work, Maddie, already from Blackout War. Crushing that distance, landing the uppercut with ease, bro.
He's just picking him apart with Nick Diaz right now. The body uppercuts, that leg kick placement early on. He's just blistering him apart with the right shots at the right time, Dog.
God damn, bro.
That is some impressive boxing. That
finish.
Take a bow.
Oh my
Take
God.
a bow.
Yeah, no, take a bow. That. Okay, congratulations, you've made the name already. I'm impressed.
Blackout War, performance of the night. Take it and run, brother. Take it and run. I mean, that Man, that was about
Yeah.
as crispy clean as boxing, right? I said, Matty, coming into this fight, that these guys were going to want to end up getting into a boxing fight, and it was definitely the case for Nick, right? He made it that, and that was about as crispy clean with the hands as you can get. Landed everything he wanted to, slipped one or two with ease, and he fucking capitalized like it was nothing. I mean, made it look easy out here, bro. Made it look easy.
What did I say? What did I say? I hope to God, for Kelvin Gastelum's sake, that he tries to wrestle. Because that is what happens when you try to box with Nick Diaz, who knows what he's doing, especially like someone like Blackout War. Beautiful counters, beautiful body work, beautiful leg kick placement as well for the fucking 2 leg kicks. You know, it didn't take much, did it? It didn't take much, but that was beautiful shit, dog.
That was just fantastic. He countered an uppercut, slipping to the side, hook, clean, jumped on him, got the finish. I don't have words apart from good job. That was seriously impressive and a shock there.
Yeah, shock to the system, to say the least, but if anybody is going to be able to make this next one equally as entertaining, it is two savages known by the names as Stone Cold Steve Austin in this thing, Matty D, and he is up against Locke in welterweight. We're seeing Kevin Gastelum again. It appears to be a popular pick here this evening, but this time he is taking on the one and only Anthony Showtime Pettis.
I don't see why Kelvin Gastelum's a big pick tonight for some reason. He's not very good at all, but maybe some people can see some things I can't see here. Anthony...
I will say, Maddie, I will say, bro, just to play devil's advocate, that he is a well-rounded fighter. He can box, he's got some heavy leg kicks, and he can wrestle. He's a short guy, man.
He's too fat. He's
Yeah, exactly, mate. He's too short, he's too stubby, he doesn't have enough distance to get that. He's got a fantastic jab, he's got a good wrestling game, but nobody seems to want to be using a wrestling game. And with that, you've got Pettis on the other side. He's got a lot of footwork, he's got a lot of kicks, so that's what he's going to probably want to do. And if he does get taken down, he's got the submission game and he's got the rubber guard here.
Yeah, Anthony Pettis definitely a little bit more of a fighter known for his highlight finishes and a bit more meta for the 4-star pick, right? Maddie as a whole. As a result, a lot of people love him, fan-friendly favorite due to his fighting style, but he gets caught, and you've got to remember that Kevin Gastelum's got power, endurance, and he may be able to take some of these shots from a fighter that's typically fought in a lower weight class, moving up to the welterweight division.
I mean, Locke's taking his time right now. He's not pushing anything past what he wants to be. He wants to be in there planting and countering him coming in, and that is exactly what he's doing in these early portions, Doug.
Yeah, he's staying steady, staying calm. Even when Pettis is just waiting there for him, he's just letting Pettis come to him. Firing a couple of shots, that lead hook especially is getting used as like a jab, kind of, and just making sure that every time he's going to throw something, that lead hook is landing here, Looney.
Yeah, definitely so, brother. He's making this cage feel a little bit small. He was cage cutting well a moment ago, and he has what the entire octagon to play with. Does Temp? He can back up. Because he's pressuring, because he's controlling where the fight's taking place, he has all of the octagon behind him to move out of the danger zone if he wants to. Just has to be careful of that power, like I said, Maddie, because Kevin Gastelum quite clearly isn't playing games here this evening. He's been taking his strength and conditioning very, very seriously, and you can see him, that playing dividends in the combinations he's landing and the power that he's been able to unload already.
I mean, I think you're on about Stone Cold Steve Austin here. He wants all of this range. Oh, big knee. Big knee to the body, rocks the body there. Obviously, rocks the body if it's to the body. Oh, but he gets them back.
Yeah, lovely work. He's going to get tripped. No, he isn't. The combination, the straight into the lead upper is money, dog. Over and over again, it has rung the bell of Temp.
Yeah, well, just a simple combination is all you need. And if it lands constantly, that's even better because that means that your opponent isn't adjusting as much. And that just means that you open your arsenal for more confusing shots later on. Does power 3P there, gets land against block, bit of head movement going on, and a body kick fired off there, mate.
I mean, obviously, Looney, you were saying earlier, Teep wants all of this room to work, but it seems that Locke just needs the position for his 2 feet to be on the floor, because right now he's just planting as he's coming in, and he's catching him every time. You can see that head health going, flashing there again.
Yeah.
He's just putting together some beautiful combinations,
Look, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Gastelum at the moment. Quite genuinely, he's doing some great head movement, that combination. Like I said, he may be using a similar one, but he's just finding the opening for it. But he does get caught with the spin. The stamina not there to get the rock dog. And what do you make of that? I mean, that's a little bit concerning when you land a kick and you don't even get your opponent's chin to budge a little bit, chin checked, and it's it passed that check. It passed the check.
I mean, you're going to be a bit concerned, but you've got to remember it's only round one, and it was kind of just, it wasn't properly distanced. He wasn't in the middle of the strike like you usually would. And so you got to imagine that's probably half the reason it didn't do much as damage as it could have done. But again, both of them looked good. Both of them aren't really taking the momentum away from each other. Gastelum probably got it with the knockdown you just saw there, as well as the intercepting combo, so it would indicate that he's a bit more well-rounded, a bit more well-adjusted to his opponent's style, but Pettis has definitely got an opportunity here to make a comeback, Matty.
I mean, obviously, yeah, but because this has been, as much as I've kind of been blown steam up of Kelvin Gastelum's arse, it seems, throughout this entire fight. This is a very close fight. Both fighters have had a lot of big moments, but to me, it just seems that boxing of block is kind of taken away some big moments in this fight here, Looney.
Bro, he just got lead uppercutted out of mid-air. That was precision, timing, and power from Kevin Gastelum, showing why he's the pick tonight, Doc. He's got to not make sure not to get destroyed, though, because Temp with that Anthony Pettis pick may go showtime any second, and you know it only takes one from this man to turn those lights out.
I mean, Gastelum's 0 for 2 currently. This is his third fight, so you never know. Pettis has definitely got a reputation to live for here. Both of them fire uppercuts, though, and making sure that both head to help is damaged. But again, 3 minutes on the clock, neither one seeming to want to back down here, mate.
I mean, he's landing some beautiful combinations on him right now, it seems. Both of them on each other. It's just, we're seeing quite an evenly matched fight in the second round of this. Just want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of whoop ass, but he gets whoop ass himself.
That is beautiful work, and he is trying to pour it on the pull elbow into the lead. Finish is on the cards. He is walking him down, cage cutting, making this feel very, very tight and sticky indeed, Doc, because honestly, Pettis is in all sorts of trouble, brother. All sorts of trouble.
Well, he's in all sorts of trouble, does defend the knee, goes for a takedown though, and Gastelum gets the defense. Uppercut does miss, fire back with a combo of his own, but Gastelum's on the foot pedal again, putting his pressure on getting that jab, working down low as well at the same time, does go for the slip a bit, and again, defends the body kick finally made.
Oh
but
my!
The uppercut there. It's the same combo again, that jab, straight lead, uppercut.
Doc said, fuck you to Stone Cold Steve Austin and opened a can of whoop ass on his fucking fiass. He's dead.
He did. That might be the funniest dead I've ever heard in my life, but no, he is dead, brother. He is dead. Why did he do Pettis like that? No, that was a great fight, man. God damn. They both brought the action, but like I said, Kevin Gastelum, he only knew one way here this evening, Doc, and that was forward and killed. That was crazy. That
was absolutely mental. Both of them didn't seem like they were taking the momentum from each other, but then all of a sudden, Pettis just goes down to the body, gets met with an uppercut, and it's lights out for Pettis. Fantastic fight from either side. Gastelum definitely a bit more well-versed in the boxing. Pettis a bit more well-versed in the kicks. However, Gastelum could manage that distance a bit more and knew when to really start to box the head off poor Pettis.
Well, my God, this fight card is flying by, and we are already at our featured fight of our prelims here this evening. This fight, we did not mention it earlier because we got into the fights very quickly, Matty, but I know that you can attest to this, brother. These two guys, straight savages on UFC 4, they bring entertaining styles, and I expect nothing but absolute fireworks in this featured fight. KM Basic is anything but basic, and he is going up against the ever-aggressive Karen Till, representing TT and out here to prove himself and his camp a big name.
I couldn't say it earlier because, as you said, we got straight back in to the fight straight away. But this is my fight of the night, personally. Two absolutely brilliant, different styles of flashy striking, gone at it. I spoke to Karen Till earlier on this week, talking to him about the fight because I'm a good friend of him. He said he's angry from the co-op and wants to take his frustration out on his opponent. That's what he says to me earlier on this week. But I cannot wait. Sean O'Malley, of course, you're going to see that from Basic, Doc.
Yeah, well, we've seen his before. I think last time we saw him out was maybe against Kryptonite King. If I'm not mistaken, he did get the win over him there. But now you got Basics fighting Karen Till. Both of these are well-versed strikers. Basic likes to be on the back foot. He likes to keep his defense high. He likes to strike and just pitter-patter his opponent, kind of like what you see with a lot of other KM members. On the other hand, though, you got Karen Till, a man who has gone Cody Garbrandt and wants to try to impersonate Garbrandt, say. He doesn't want to go full Garbrandt, but he wants to show enough Garbrandt that your opponent ends up unconscious here, mate.
You never want to go full Garbrandt, or else you're going to end up swinging for your life and getting KO'd here. But I'm interested to see what KM Basic is going to come out like here. I want to see if he's going to look to try and box and use that longer reach of Sean O'Malley, or whether he's going to go for more of them kicks, Looney.
I think he's just going to do this, right? Fire off the back foot, try to use his range, poke at his opponents and catch him on the way in with combinations just like that. And of course, Karen Till is going to be aware of that. He's the shorter fighter here, Doc. He's got blistering speed and crazy power, a compromised chin if he gets caught, and that means that it's high risk, high reward as he tries to walk down O'Malley and, kind of break him down bit by bit.
One of the biggest issues, though, you have got to remember about sticking your back against the back wall is it limits your head movement and means your opponent can control that distance if you're not careful. So if you're going to play this type of style, you've got to realise when the right time is to play it and when the right time is to put the pressure on and make your opponent's back be against the back wall here, mate.
I mean, I don't think Karen Till in the past has been known as much of a pressure fighter. From my experience with him at least, he's been more of the type to try and hunt the counters against you, but right now he's putting on the pressure. I can't tell whether he's having more success or not. It's a very even fight, and he's walking into a few punches, but he's getting some off of his own, Looney.
Yeah, definitely right. He's having some good success. I will say that from the slight differences as it freeze frames us there, picture perfect for us to see that he's actually a little bit worse on the worse end, being Cody Garbrandt in terms of the damage. But that's understandable because his chin isn't fantastic. But when he's landing, Doc, he's landing with a large amount of damage.
Oh, and he lands again there. The power of Garbrandt, mate, you've got to imagine it's just non-stop. O'Malley only needs to land like several shots to match one punch of Garbrandt, and that's something you've got to be so careful of with this. You have also got to remember, though, that Cody's chin's a bit suspect. So if you clip Cody very hard and very nicely, you're going to do a lot of damage. However, if Cody hits you very hardly,
You see, I really like this pressure that Karen Till is putting on right now, because he's forcing the counters out of KM Basic right now, and he's forcing him to whiff. And look at the stamina difference that has created right now. It's almost double the amount of difference of purely the fact of him flowing in and out with the footwork. And there, that big miss there. Yeah, those pay such big differences to the stamina, Doc.
It really does, and mixed in with the body work, you see that the body health of O'Malley slightly lower. That's going to also play dividends against stamina, and that is what you want. You got 30 seconds left in round one here, Looney, and going into round two, most likely, this is going to be a tough uphill battle for KM Basics.
Yeah, I'm interested to see in these final seconds how crazy they go. You know that it's normally big explosive movements come the last final seconds of the round, but Matty D, I mean, I have to say, right, KM Basic, his name is KM Basic. The Kingsman guys, they always have fantastic striking, but it's basic because he normally starts with the fundamentals. He normally comes out here, works his jab, works his inside, his kickboxing as a whole, and looks very, very clean in doing so. And he's been looking very clean in his combinations here this evening. But as you said, some of those bigger strikes and the way that Garbrandt is able to get out of range on some of them is causing his stamina to burn at a much quicker rate than it needs to necessarily. Just like that, really, like that.
Yeah, I would say it would serve him dividends to listen to his name a little bit more. Go back to the basics, because when he's countering like that combination there that he's just thrown there, if he's going to go to them a little bit more, he's going to have a lot more success. But right now he's trying to whiff some spin kicks, whiff some flying knees and that's just doing nobody but Karen Till any favours, Doc.
gets flung across the octagon with a bit of distance of the lead hook, goes to the teeps and a couple of body kicks there finally. If he can mix them in, that may be the idea, go for a couple body kicks and dig up top. But the issue is the boxing and Garbrandt seems to be the more aggressive style here. It's just limiting O'Malley's actions, and O'Malley is really having to work to quite great that distance and try to get those kicks off here, Luke.
Yeah, honestly, I think the knees were doing good work, but he's getting too flat-footed, Matty, in some of these exchanges. You can tell that he's going, it's your turn, waiting for his turn, and it's never his turn because Garbrandt's hitting him and then getting the hell out of dodge.
I mean, Cody Garbrandt, he's playing the style that the Sean O'Malley should be playing as he sits him down. Look at the finish.
He's getting close to it. A couple more shots firing up, but again, the defense just a bit too high to get the finish.
The survival skills on display in some of these fights are honestly second to none, Matty D. How many times do we see a fight get to that stage? A fighter looks like they're down and they are out, but somehow they survive, and with literally 7.5 minutes left on the clock, that's a lot of time for him to maybe recompose himself and try to turn the tides.
I mean, when you're going for naked transitions like that, I don't think that's composing yourself. I think that's called panicking and shitting yourself as he puts himself locked into an arm triangle here. It's not doing much, but he's riding out this round and he's going to score another round in the bag, it seems, Doc.
I mean, this sub should only run about 40 seconds if he does do it. So far, though, the defense of O'Malley is quite high. Looks like we're going to end up in a full guard position again if maybe. Yep, ended up in the full guard. Lovely job there. Got a minute 20 left on the clock. If he wants to do the grappling, the survival option, Cody does have good grappling, but again, you're having a lot of success on the feet, so maybe you want to do that. But instead, though, he's just going wild on the ground here, Looney.
I mean, you can. Sorry.
No, that's fine, Matty. This is what we know Karen Till for. This kid comes in here with crazy, aggressive, kind of strikes to be thrown, and you know it better than anybody, Matty. You fought this guy. This is what he's all about. This is the game he wants to play.
I'm just saying, I've been working with this kid for the longest time. No, but you could see just the head health dwindling away with that ground and pound there. One shot to the head and you get the little red flashing effect. It's not really a good sign when you've got a stamina disadvantage and you're going into the third round 2-0 down, Doc.
Yeah, but you've got 1 round left. Cody doesn't have a good chin, and that is the one thing probably Basic should have in his mind. Cody doesn't have a good chin. I've got 1 shot. I need that 1 shot, and I had better use it wisely. And that is what he started out with there. Very aggressive, and he should probably be the one putting the pressure on here, using that reach, clipping in, instead of letting Cody being the one to put the pressure on and get the straight there, putting on his pressure. So close to getting knocked down here, Luna.
He needs to lead the dance. Use his range, man. He is giving it away and allowing AJG Gamer, also known as Karen Till, to walk him down with some beautiful boxing, keeping that, those hands high. He's blocking everything and landing at will. Got to be the finish. How is he surviving? Again, Matty, I don't understand.
People tonight just don't want to fucking die. All of these fights tonight should have probably been over within like 2 rounds at the maximum, but no, people can survive these days. It just shows you the level that people are at these days to have this survivability skill.
That was a little arse clench moment. Just have the head kick up, another head kick coming, and another head kick right back. Cartwheel kick of all things. O'Malley is throwing a bit wild, but so is the Garbrandt. The block and chin of O'Malley.
He's styling.
The upper down, trying to get a finish, and
there you go. Beautiful. Beautiful.
He was styling out there, bro. He was, like, at a certain point, right, Sean O'Malley's corner needed to throw in the towel. They needed to stop that fight. He's a young kid, did not need to take that damage, Matty D, because it was non-stop at a certain point. Momentum was built. As our friend Primetime Dime, Jay Dime, likes to say, momentum is everything in this game, and he took the fight by the horns, bro. He took that bull by the horns. He came out, led the dance the entire way.
A real workman's life, workman-like, oh, fucking hell, I can't talk. Workman-like performance.
I say it with you, bro.
From Karen Till, just never stopped marching down KM Basic that entire fight and took out the young up-and-comer, Doc.
Yeah, a young up-and-comer, and he handled him brilliantly. Karen Till played the right game, used the boxing effectively, and it got to the point where he just couldn't survive long enough, and the cartwheel kick came out, and then an uppercut came when he ducked into it, and that was all she wrote there.
Beautiful, beautiful work, and that, of course, was the featured fight of our prelims here this evening on this fight night. This Friday, setting off the weekend in some style, we have up next on the main card, Matty D, Project Dubster up against L Steel. These guys are going to be fighting over on the PlayStation side of the equation, and one thing that we've come to learn here at Primetime MMA is that these PlayStation boys, they often like to bang, bro. They're throwing hands more often than not, and we've seen some really, really entertaining strikers come through the rankings as a result.
I mean, you see in the TJ and the Dominic Cruz pick, you know this is going to be a flashy style of both technical kickboxing and wrestling, it seems, Doc.
Yeah, well, Dillashaw is typically known for his kickboxing overall. He does have the grappling full back on, couple of good submissions. Cruz, on the other hand, he's got no power, but he has his signature movement, which is just this weird combination of just wild stuff. And then you have his overall wrestling and his overall just submission game mixed with that. And so this is kind of a striker versus wrestling game. However, Cruz has got that signature style that on the feet, if you can use correctly, is going to do a hell of a lot of damage, especially if you land the counters here.
Look, I've been wrong before, and I will probably be wrong again, but these two guys are duking it out on the feet. There's a lot of bad blood between the fighter picks, generally speaking, obviously, but L Steel is an educated player. He's going to approach this correctly, try to take away some of that movement, and let's not forget, Matty D, that he's got some signature movement of his own.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, both of these lads are known for the movement, of course. You're seeing a lot of that in the early going. They've pretty much went across the entire cage within 10 seconds of the fight. You know, they want to stay out of range and they want to take the time going in and out. Let's just see how this fight unfolds, Doc.
Yeah, let's see how this fight unfolds. You got both of them well developed in all areas of their game by the looks of it. Now, really having a feeling that process, not wanting to engage per se, more just using this footwork to really just see who's the first person to step forward, poking and prodding, couple jab straights. So a lot of jabs being fired out by the Cruz, and overhand, a couple wild hooks as well. And both of these guys are just trying to have a feeling out process, but also going wild at the same time, it seems, Looney.
Yeah, look, they're exploding in pockets right here. And it's one of the things about these lower weight classes, they're able to cover so much distance, as Matty was alluding to a moment ago, that they can play this game where they're all the way out or all the way in, using strikes to cover distance. You saw it right there. A lot of the time, that final strike, the one that causes some bleed damage through the block, will get square on the money. And honestly, I feel like Steele's actually getting the better of the two here. He's landed some of the bigger shots, right, Matty? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. In fact, I would say that he's the one who's in control of this fight right now. He's doing a lot more damage to the head of Project than that he is to him. He's using that TJ power and the TJ boxing, which is a strategical advantage that seems to be in favor of him. Using that kick there as well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And he
Is
gets
that-
big power.
Combo.
That might be the biggest difference in this matchup, Doc. You pointed it out moments before they loaded into the lobby, and that was the power of Dominic Cruz v. the power of TJ Dillashaw. There's not really any comparison, and as a result, every single one that he lands is equivalent to maybe 2 or 3 of Dom's.
Yeah, well, Dillashaw's also landing a lot of hooks on that block. He's trying a 3-piece hook combo, and Cruz could do the pullback, but he's not. He's just taking it on the block, and maybe he needs to start looking for the pullback, start trying to counter them. If you fire an uppercut on that's going to do massive amounts of damage, even with the low power of Cruz. And with 2 minutes on the clock, and with no real signs of adapting that entire combo style, that may be the idea here for Cruz.
Well, I'm interested. Do you know what these guys' rankings are there, Doc? Would you be able to pull that up, my man?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I'm just I'm interested to see where they are currently and where they're standing in things, because they're being very, very hesitant around making some of these engagements there, Matty, and sometimes that can be due to maybe being a little bit concerned that they don't want to make a mistake out here and be the guy to kind of slip up.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe L Steele's record's 1-3, so I do believe that he's going to be the one being preservative right now because he doesn't want to make that record go any further negative than it already is. He wants to
he's on the
rise
loss,
through
is he?
this.
Oh my god. That is
Well,
that is
this
not a
is
good
such a
sign.
game to-
He doesn't have legacy controls on. I think he's safe to say that this is where he wants this fight.
I mean, separation
Well,
may not
perhaps
be
not.
the right choice for Steel. He had no stamina, but maybe he doesn't know, bro. That was suspect. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if that's a mistake. I mean, do you know? Question. Tell us in the chat. Tell me in the commentary booth. You guys actually know anybody that uses non-legacy controls? Deliberately.
don't think I've ever heard someone, and so using legacy controls, but especially in a competitive setting, these two are it's a strange one. I mean, in survival attempt, it would be very interesting to run a full grappling event using only legacy controls. I've got to admit,
Never,
it's a fun
brother.
idea.
Never.
You're the owner of Prime. I'm making up the.
That ain't happening, bro. My dead body. Oh god damn. With that being said, honestly, that combination right there, jab straight into the lead head kick, has been the only really damaging shot other than the combination that stunned him. Most of the time, these guys are kind of dancing around a mid-range, where there's not really any damage, right? Everything becomes so telegraphed at the range that they're fighting that neither guy is able to really land or commit to landing any sort of damage here, Maddie.
I mean, they both just kind of want to be outside of range, it seems. I don't think either of them really want to be in the pocket fight, and although L Steel is the more comfortable one in there, and he's got the drop from it. But you never know. There is time for Cruz to come back into this, and I do believe they're fighting with a real-time clock on as well, so they've got a lot more time, Doc.
Bro,
Yeah, they got a lot more time, and both of them are just going at it.
Bro, they can't have a full 15 minutes. I'm sorry, like, are they actually running real time here? They're not, are they?
I was counting second by second. I do believe this is real-time clock.
God damn it. God damn this. I'm putting this on the cards, okay? They've got a regulation 10-minute fight ahead of us. So they need to get active here, dog. And they need to get a finish quickly, brother. I think that's the best bet. Is that about right? There are rules around this. We don't run real time here at Primetime MMA.
I would say they've got another round, another 5 minutes to get the finish. And
Yeah. I think I'd agree.
I've just put the clock up on my phone and watching the time go by. This is definitely real time.
We're about to see, brother. He seems to be a little bit more active. He's backing up a little bit less.
Maybe he's hearing us. Maybe he's hearing us.
one of them
do you
needs
know
to
what?
just commit.
I'm at this point.
commit.
At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to will on the aggressor. And I know that we've got to be a little bit biased, but I'm kind of rooting for Steel right here because he's been moving forward the majority of this fight, or more than I've seen.
I want Steel to come forward and just be in the face of Cruz. Like, I feel that's the idea here. You just come in the face of Cruz and you just swing for the fences. Cruz is now starting to put the pressure on himself a bit more, which is what you want to see. But come on, Dillashaw, I guess.
I guess this will be a good time to mention that Primetime MMA is open to all Xbox and PS competitors. We'll run cards live both Friday and Saturday, unaired cards for new players as well. If you can't fight live, that is not a problem at all. There will be a link in the chat for you to join up. Get yourself signed up. It's always fun. It's always a good show. Win or lose, put on a show for us, and let's get on with it.
They heard your read. They said this is for everybody. This is my time. Let's get my name known. The front kick landed, and it looks like Steel is getting a second win here, dog. Trying to get the finish, brother.
You got 3 minutes to do this. Put on the pressure. The leg goes, and that can do some serious damage to the power. And that's an issue when your leg goes. If your leg's starting to go, a leg kick back though, trying to work the power of Cruz, and Cruz has got no power himself. You can't do this. You need to put the pressure on each other. Being at opposite ends of the octagon, nobody's going to get hit. No feints will work, and it's a wild time to be this.
Look, at times in this fight, I feel like there's a pocket of space where you could fit another 6 fighters in between them, and I just feel like that. That's way too far apart, lads. You don't need to be that far away from each other. It's all I'm saying.
I mean, there's disengaging, and then then it's that disengaging.
Timidity is a rule, right? In mixed martial arts, you cannot be too timid. Cannot be. Okay, you can't be too timid, bro. He gets the takedown, and honestly, if he's heard any of this, he could have done this years ago. He could have done this years ago. I cannot believe what I am witnessing.
I can't quite believe. Doink, doink, doink.
Bro.
I feel like that are the sound effects of this fight so far. He comes back onto the fight. If he's clever, he shoots another takedown. He does
This is
so.
all he has to do for a victory. This is all he has to do. Stop one transition.
Oh,
He
for
got
fuck's
off
sake,
the
get reversed.
Congratulations, Cruz, getting the finish. TJ Dillashaw gets up to the feet. They get to that medium distance where you can 6 feet sides, and the leg kick comes back, and Dillashaw fires another takedown. Maybe, I don't know at this point.
Oh, excuse me, I apologise. Oh, we got the rock from TJ. He's going for it. He's going for the finish.
I told you,
Oh, no,
brother.
he's not.
I
He just
could
runs
see it
away.
in my mind that this guy
He just
wanted
runs
to
away.
win. He wanted to get his hand raised. He's got 1:25 seconds to do this shit.
Dillashaw, go forward and don't stop. Shoot another takedown. Bounce his head off the canvas 60
I'm sorry,
times.
if he got to win.
What are we seeing? Don't! This is not. You're not Diaz, brother. Throw some hands.
This fight is so
It might be the best. Honestly,
You
Doc,
don't
it
need
might-
enough room for a 1960s vintage fucking steam train in between you. Go on, get towards each other. Fucking punch each other.
Brother, honestly, this might be the most madness fight I have ever called in my life. For all respect, we are joking in some parts, but there is some madness happening. They do, like I said, it's the mid pockets between them. They throw some good combinations. It's just some footwork. Well, did we see the connection coming into this? Was it stable?
It was
pretty
stable,
sure it
I'm
was
pretty
stable.
sure. I'm pretty sure it was like
go
a
back
stable
down
100.
onto the ground. Dillashaw, and hopefully he's going to get on Neon Betty. Maybe goes for the get up, goes to the top mount. Maybe going to give his back. He gives the back flat's an option. Now going to look for the posture up, but no.
Just no.
Oh no, we get ground and pound.
Is he gonna just sit there and absorb punches again? Yep, he is.
Hey, he moves his head. Oh, we disengage off the back foot. We got 13 seconds. 10. No.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
Bro, I almost feel like we've got to see a finish now. I almost feel.
We have got. I don't. I know we said we didn't. We were going to only give him this round, but that entire course of that action, I think, gives us them the right to have a third round.
You know
even
what?
with
Do you
the
know what?
insanity.
If you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. I'm saying that there are, whoever hosted this, there may be a little suspension coming their way, okay? But nevertheless, I think we're going to have to go for the next 5 minutes.
What you mean?
Let them have to
There is
run.
no losses. There is no losses with this fight. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
I mean, we're having a hell of a time on commentary. I hope you're enjoying yourselves watching Prime Time. This isn't the typical Prime Time guarantee, but it's a Prime Time guarantee nonetheless. Dillashaw, we think he's winning, but nobody's really scoring this. We're all just having a wild
winning.
time.
Nobody's winning. Everybody wins.
Bro, I want... I'm going to have to work with these guys on the distance management a little bit. I don't know if it's a little bit of nerves. Maybe they have us on and the added pressure is starting to stack on, right? But you have just got to let it go, brother. It is virtual
I think they took some
fighting. CTE
inspiration
just...
from Rose Namajunas.
Look, CTE... Bro, that's too good. That's too good. You could
I mean,
be
the
right.
first
There's no
round was
title on the
definitely
line.
the first. I mean, the first round definitely had more action than Nunes versus Namajunas versus Esparza, to be fair. A straight there, and we've got 4 minutes left on the clock. Legitimately 4 minutes since it's real time, and I kind of want to see another takedown now. Dillashaw. I just wanted to put the pressure on and get Schubert takedown and just put the pressure on here.
Brother, this fight could be over at literally a moment's notice if he just shot a double leg, mounted the man, and landed 3 or 4 punches. I honestly feel like
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he knows how to shoot the takedown. I think he might just be pressing it.
No,
and
look,
it comes out
Steel
sometimes.
definitely knows how to shoot the takedown, okay? This is the thing. I know that Steel... I've seen Steel fight before. This is uncharacteristic for him, in all honesty. But, yeah, I don't know what's... I honestly don't know what's happened. I think that Dominic Cruz has cast some sort of dark voodoo, and he has hypnotized his opponents into, just a bit of disengaging. They find moments, but it's stuff like that. It's just the wrong shots. And we may as well take this time, okay, lads, to talk about it. It's the shot selection at the ranges that they're throwing it at. These guys are moving, but they're not choosing the right shots in a lot of these positions in order to get the results required.
Oh, yes!
And there it is, a smart move. Takedown, easy.
Well, a get-up attempt there by Dominic Screws. Now we have Rock'em Sock and Road.
He just kind of wants sleep. Just, all right.
Bro.
Apologies.
Does he know you can move yet? What's happening?
Hey! I apologise to Cruz for that impersonation, but congratulations to Steele. Only took him about 13 minutes to finally realise that was the right game plan. That was a fight. That was a prime time guarantee fight somehow.
No. We're going to find out. We're going to find out how new these guys are to the game. We're going to get them some training. Look, there's a lot of pressure. I don't know how they made the main card. I'll be straight with you. But they did. And I think
I'll still clearly maximise the opportunity. Look at that ground and pound, man.
Honestly, I think as madness as that was, we quite literally had an entertaining. We had a fun time. I had a fun time.
Of course
for the most part. So we are gonna take that momentum and throw it to the side as we move forward into Swede Fighter up against LW Lepo. This is a fight I expect absolute fireworks from here, Doctor. Swede Fighter and LW Lepo both been around the scene for a little while now in this weight class. With such kind of diverse skills, Lepo's been everywhere, bro. He's submitted a number of people off his back. He normally knocks out people on his with his hands if he can. And then, of course, Swede Fighter has some dominant wrestling and the ability to, really, really work that boxing if he wants to.
Well, Lepo is a very, very interesting character. I remember correctly, this is a middleweight. Now, these two. Now, Lepo loves Nick Diaz. We've seen Nick Diaz earlier with Blackout Hours. He comes out, looks clean, gets out, flashy KO in about 20 seconds. And that is what I'm hoping for Lepo. If Lepo wants to put on a performance with Diaz, that is the performance he wants to put on. However, Swede Fighter, boxer all around, very effective on the feet. So if Lepo's clever and it doesn't really go to plan per se here, Matty, the ground is where I expect it to go. However, Lepo sometimes has a bit of problem with ego, so maybe that be it. But by the looks of it, though, we've got Sonnen versus a Robert Whittaker.
Interesting matchup. Very interesting matchup. I expected the Nick Diaz out of Lepo. That's his signature. Yeah. You've seen the signature Lepo ping there as well. It's going to be interesting to see what S2 fight is going to be able to do with the wrestling of Chilson and see if he can put him on his back, Looney.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I'm pretty sure this guy was atting us going into this, saying, I've got the best Nick Diaz on the game. So if he does not pick him, I would be mortally surprised. Looks like he is going Nick Diaz! There you go. He said he has the best one, brother. I mean, look, let's be straight, though. Nick Diaz earlier on this evening, Blackout War, that man looks silky smooth, has high standards to live up to here this evening.
Very, very high standards to live up to, but if anyone can live up to them standards with Nick Diaz, it is Lepo. I don't think there's anybody on the game who could rival the Nick Diaz of Lepo. Okay.
Well, Diaz is Diaz, Sonnen is Sonnen, the man who has never lost a round, but against someone like Lepo, he may lose a round. He's also got the triangle choke, so if Sonnen shoots a takedown and ends up in triangle, you never know. Maybe Sonnen's going to have a bit of an issue there, Luke.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna write a book one day, Doc. I'm gonna call it the Book of Docisms. Sonnen is Sonnen, Diaz is Diaz. I love it, brother. You're absolutely right, though. I know exactly what you mean. They have very, very signature styles in the way that they approach their fighting game. And one thing I think people sleep on, though, Maddie, to throw it to you, is the power of Chael Sonnen. That man hits hard, and the wrestling is so dangerous that it sets up those hands. And obviously, the hands set up the takedowns, same vice versa.
And as you can see, he's already scored the takedown here. He's just chilling in the guard, working a few little ground and pound punches. Obviously not doing any damage, but Lepo, beautiful build up on the GA. Gets the reversal pretty much instantly there, Doc.
Yeah, fantastic job. Now he's the guy on full guard on top, looking to build that GA, just punching the body. The stream decides to went, but you're going to expect Lepo to probably push for that half guard position. Does go another fake. He's really trying to build that GA. Finally gets it. Now back into it, and this is going to really determine how good someone's bottom game is. If you can maintain a full guard position for the majority of the round, that shows that your bottom game grappling is quite effective. And Sun there disengages, now going to probably get back into the boxing actions there once again here, Looney.
Yeah, landing a good one too. He continues to try and trade off with some big power shots and try to get Nick on the back foot, but Lepo used to be formerly part of the camp out here. I don't know if you remember, Matty. TP, technical pressure. This guy knows how to turn on the pressure with the boxing, and he looks to do that here and keep somebody like Chael Sonnen very honest, and keep that wrestler on the back foot.
I mean, I don't think it's really the boxing which he's having success with. It's been them kicks that he's been landing. He's been landing them perfectly all fight. He plays that beautiful spin kick there. As I say, that the leg kick does get checked, so maybe Sweet Fight is trying to get some range on it, but that body kick there, that's going to take some wind out, Doug.
Well, another tape there as well. Diaz looking to do a bit of the body work. A lead hook straight as well. Another lead hook. Diaz putting on a boxing pressure clinic. But Sonnen comes back. Double hook straight. Does no one. The head movement only just keeping out of the way of damage. And both of them are happy to engage in the boxing. Sonnen may be a wrestler, but he has got hands for days and he's showing it here.
Nick, fucking Diaz coming out with combination after combination, keeping his opponent more than honest and forcing some of these takedowns. This time he gets it once again, right? That's 2 for 2, I believe, Matty. Obviously he just needs to get active down here. Only 50 seconds to work.
Obviously, you've got him. I did see the ping before we went in. It is awfully high, so that's going to be hindering Lepo's ability to defend these takedowns at times. Sonnen takes it back there. Let's see if he looks to try and get some ground and pound off, or maybe just ride out this round. Maybe get the round with the Rock Dog.
Yep, does go for the Kimura, and this is Lepo's signature style. He'll end up not really winning on the feet per se, but then coming on to the grappling department fairly close right now. The Blues creeping up very steadily. He's only got 8 seconds left, so... But that's a good time making reads on his opponent there. And that was a fairly close for only one denial, so, and you got to imagine coming into the future, that's going to be kind of what he'll be looking for going into the next round, maybe in the third, if Sonnen is put in that position again here, Looney.
I said it before, brother. I said it before. This man has a lot of submissions on his resume, and submissions over, good names, man. Good names. Chael Sonnen not exactly known for his submission defense, so he's going to be dangerous in those grappling positions. He did a lot of good work with the boxing, though. You saw a couple of hooks landing right there, Matty, and once again, I'll throw it back. It's really against the volume of somebody like Nick Diaz here that we're seeing out of Lepo against that big power in the wrestling of Sonnen. It's a bit of a polarizing matchup, and they still have a lot of time to work, so very interested to see how it unfolds over the next 10 minutes.
I mean, that first round was awfully weird because you're seeing Chael Sonnen have that edge in the striking because of that rock, but you're seeing Lepo have the edge in the grappling because of the submission attempt. So I want to see if both of these go back to the original game plans of each other, which was obviously the wrestling for the Chael Sonnen, there's boxing for the Nick Diaz, but it seems to be that Sweet Fight is very comfortable engaging on the feet, Doc.
I mean, I've used Chael Sonnen and I quite enjoy his striking. I find a lot of the time I like the bad wrestlers, statistically the bad wrestlers who are much better striking, my reference to Maya being on my pedigree. And so I can understand someone's wanting and just kind of generally getting addicted to someone using Chael Sonnen on the feet here. You've got an excellent jab, really. The straight's also helpful. A lovely uppercut there by Lepo, and he's kind of getting a read on the general boxing health, as you can see by the health stats overall of Chael Sonnen here, Looney.
Yeah, honestly, Chael Sonnen's doing a good job of putting the combinations together, mixing in the grappling, and keeping Lepo very, very honest, making sure he cannot get into full flow state. But Lepo is actually starting to settle in this fight, and he's not just fighting on instinct anymore, Matty. He seems to be making calculated reads and start to try and break down his opponent with calculated combinations and precisely timed shots.
It's the uppercuts and the hooks that seems to be getting through for Lepo. He comes in with a straight shot, and then the hooks and the uppercuts do the damage to the head health, and you're seeing a significant level. He gets dropped at his arse.
Up kick of doom, my man. Keeps him in it again, dog.
Yeah, the hooks and uppercuts, which you were so mentioning there. I'm not going to get a chance to, but the straight, a little Nick Diaz Fiancé is what you want to see. The hook, though, lands in retaliation. Another taunt, bit scarily close there. 2 minutes left on the clock. Both of them have got a knockdown each, and even in the favour of Lepo, though. And they're still going at it. They're still brawling, and they're still having a wild fight here, Matty.
This is a wild fight. Lepo does seem to have the clear edge on the striking, despite that knockdown, in my opinion. But Sweet Fight is firing back and with heavy power when he can, Looney.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is trying his mightiest to get the damage off just like that. Nick Diaz, LW Lepo, able to survive as he hits the mat. Perfect timing for the one and only T4H Zeus to come in with a raid as he gets the... Oh, he's going to get the finish with the raid.
Lepo surviving, so the viewers, Zeus can watch this grappling exchange. Lovely reversal there by Lepo. Now he's the one on top. 30 seconds left on the clock to do any work he wanted to. He's got 2 knockdowns in his favour as well, so that's going to make sure he's probably won the round. But any extra damage he can get out is going to play massive effect coming into the second round, especially if it's towards the body, working that stamina here, mate.
I mean, it seems to be that the stamina is quite even right now, although Nick Diaz does have this slight edge in terms of the cardio. Nice elbow by Lepo to end the round. I don't know what the scorecards are looking like. I really don't.
1-1, maybe 2-0 in the favour of Lepo. I don't know. I think he wins the first round. The second round. Sorry, the first round. And I'm not particularly sure. It's been a hectic, very fast-paced seconds as we've seen both of them scoring knockdowns on either one of them. And so overall, I'm expecting this third and final round to kind of go the same way. Just be a crazy battle of wills between Sonnen being a striker and Nick Diaz trying to be a grappler, taking on reverse roles here. It seems, Looney.
Honestly, I told you before, man. I said it before. I'll say it again. Lepo is a very, very diverse fighter, man. He's got submissions. He can hang with the best of them on the mat, can submit the best of them when it does get down there. And, of course, he likes to do his best work on the feet, but he does not want to be in these positions, Matty. Another nice takedown landed by Sonnen, trying to take this third and final round with a vengeance, raining down those elbows in Crucifix.
Oh, not good, not good. Oh, but he gets out of it. Lepo's a veteran. He knows how to survive these positions, but he does gas himself out as he gets himself to the feet. If Sweet Fight is able to stay out of the rocks for the next few minutes, I do believe this might be his fight, Doc.
Maybe, but he gets rocked and Diaz gets the knockdown, now jumping into his guard, putting on the ground and pound pressure. Sweet trying to but he gets the
LW Lepo.
LW Lepo playing like LW Lepo. He plays dirty, he plays wild, he looks to put on the pressure and also grapple. You can never forget that. He's a true vet of the game, and that is what a veteran will do. He'll dig deep, come at you, throw a couple wild stuff, but always come out somehow with the win, whether that's by a KO and pure just pressuring you and forcing that head health to get lower and lower, or just getting your arm and trying to rip it out of its socket here, mate.
I mean, he turned it up when it mattered. He turned it up when he mattered, and he got that finish in the third round. Don't know what the scorecards were looking like going in there. It could have been 2-0 him. It could have been 0-2 him. I don't know, but he didn't care to know. He finished it out there, and he finished it in style, Looney.
Yeah, it was a great performance from him. He wanted to come out and prove a point, saying that he is one of, if not the best Nick Diaz players on... basically on the game, period. That's what Lepo believes, and tonight he gets his hand raised using his favorite pick once again here this evening. He maybe have a little bit of a test up against, like I said, Blackout War a little bit earlier on this evening. Maybe if we can get them on the same console, that fight can maybe happen. A battle of the best Nick Diaz's, Doc. I think that would be an epic showdown if something could happen like that in the future. But once again, an excellent fight heading us into this main card. AOW Bowl Cut Bully, known for that infamous calf pick with that bowl cut pick, up against the one and only Purple Urkel. Purple Urkel, been around the scene for a long time, brother. Holds some records, I believe, still for one of the fastest knockouts in primetime history, and he's looking to continue that winning way here this evening over a polarizing and recognizable name in bowl cut.
Well, Purple Urkel recently joined up with the K4C camp. I'm not particularly well versed in them. I believe they're a fairly new PS camp. I may be wrong. Someone would have to re-inform me of that, but there's that to be known of. So Purple Urkel's going to be working a new camp. But Bulk Up Bully, on the other hand, the man's a mystery.
He's an enigma, brother. He's an enigma.
He is an enigma. Everybody seems to have very much a difficult time with the man. What's the body? Switch kicks, knees. He knows the score. He plays like a better Moroccan lion in some cases. So, Bulk Up Buddy is going to be looking to work your body, make it pay, make you suffer in that department. Purple Urkel, by the way, on the other hand, is more the striking type. So, expect it to stay on the feet, especially with a pick like Pettis. However, both of them are going to be kicking. Both of them are going to be looking to strike on the feet. So it's going to be really the case, I feel like, of who maintains the better body elf here, Matty.
I think it could be. And with the stamina of Anthony Pettis not being as great, it would serve Bulk Up Bully an awful lot of favours to go to that body early on, try and take the wind out, and then he can start doing some of them signature style and kicks that he's known for, don't he?
Yeah, and honestly, the reason that Bulkut's such a polarizing figure is a lot of people have a problem, right, with all the kind of switch kicks to the body, the jumping front kicks to the face, the knees to the body, and the like, and that mix-ups give a lot of people problems, you know, the high variance, the types of changes it can give, but Purple Urkel's not, you know, unaccustomed to the bright lights, and although Bulkut came into this fight with a 3-0 victory in non-competitive battles, as you can see right here, Pettis coming out with a bang!
Oh, and a switch!
You knew this was what we were going to see.
Oh my god!
It gets the drop only a minute into the fight, Looney.
This is not where you want to be against the mighty Bulkut Bully. That guy will pepper your body, work your head health, and chop you down bit by bit. Purple Urkel needs to dial himself back, recompose himself, Doc, and allow himself some opportunities to edge himself back into this battle.
This is possibly the worst start you could have ever had against someone who wants to kick your body in. You gas out in the start, you allow him to kick your body a couple of times, and you're already in that stamina deficit, and your body's already slightly damaged. Purple Urkel needs to calm down massively here. He needs just to re-establish himself, because if he keeps throwing those wild big shots, one, he's going to gas out, two, that leaves his body vulnerable on a counter, and that is what Bulkut's looking for here. He's looking to work that body. He doesn't particularly care about your head health here. He's notorious for just working that body, and that's what you want to be defending here, mate.
I mean, you can see the body health is already lower than the head health of Purple Urkel. He's not really done much of the head outside of that drop, the spinning heel kick, and then the front kick to follow up to get the drop. But right now, he's just picking Purple Urkel apart with this. And Purple Urkel, he's not the most intelligent fighter in the world. He's someone who likes to style with spin kicks, and that's the fucking kryptonite style that he's going up against right now in Bulk Up Bully.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if Purple Urkel is able to dial himself back, right, I know it's a dangerous game to play, but just time one perfect sidestep, one head movement, and that's like honestly all you need against somebody like Bulkut, because all of his shots are high risk, high reward for the most part out here, Doc. But he works the body so well that I suppose by the time that opportunity presents, you don't really have too much left to throw out.
I'm so concerned with the Purple Urkel stamina. He's come out here with possibly the worst game plan I've seen today for someone fighting Bulkut. The last thing you want to be doing is throwing stuff like that and getting counter to the body, especially the stun. Fires a head kick up top, expecting it. The uppercut fires Sue as well. Bulkut Bully is having an easy time bullying his opponent, and Purple Urkel seems to just have no real response here. I feel like it may just be league nerves. We've definitely seen Purple come out in better shape before, but this time around he just seems rough.
Oh my god, man. It's because of that start. It's an uphill battle. It's like he's ice skating uphill out here. Matty, came out, looked good with a good combination, a good flurry, but then this Bulkut Bully started bullying, and he caught him every which way. Throughout the course of that 5 minutes, made it an absolute living hell to get to that stage.
Purple Urkel's liver's looking worse than my liver after a fucking weekend bender. Jesus Christ, the amount of body shots that Bulkut Bully was able to just land flush every single time, and Purple Urkel was not blocking any of them at all. And even when he did go to block the body, the fucking head kick comes up. You're seeing the replay right now. Front kick to the face, down, out almost. And I don't really know if he even can come back into this fight, Doc.
Well, looking in chat from what Perp saying, he says, fuck, this dude is so fucking tall. And honestly, that's probably one of the biggest factors when it comes to calves is just your ability to make them tall. And now it's been pointed out, he's really quite tall, and that reach is going to be difficult. That gives you longer legs, and that means you just can't hit your opponent as well. And by the seems of it, that is definitely something Purple Earth didn't factor into the equation. Lovely boxing. And now we are back against the cage. Boxing coming out. Does land a body kick though. A switch kick though. Gets to stun him, and it's just going all
time. It's a matter of time. He doesn't even need to jump on because he knows that he's got this fight. There's very, very little that Purple Urkel can do to come back into this fight. This has been absolute one-way traffic from Bull Cup Bully. Not a single big shot has been landed by Purple Urkel. This is a new level of performance we're seeing right now, Looney.
Yeah, look, when he cracked him that early going, like I said, you've got to be perfect against somebody like Bull Cup Bully or the infamous Moroccan Lion with those kind of the variations that they have. It's such a punishing style to come up against. One wrong move and you can be fighting like this the entire way, drained, damaged, and honestly clinging on for dear life, looking for that one Hail Mary shot. Purple Urkel's a warrior and he will be looking for that shot, Doc, but my god, Bull Cup Bully seems to have this fight fully in his corner right now.
Yeah, Bolka is just looking for that one shot. He's having a bit of issues in terms of the distance, even with the length of Bolka, and now digs down to the body himself. We've got 2 minutes left on the clock, but the body health is non-stop blinking. The stamina is about as low as the word stam him, and the words uphill battle don't describe the current situation of Perth.
Purple Urkel is a warrior. He keeps on going, but somebody fucking call the cops. Jesus Christ, this is just an absolute mauling right now. Yeah. There's no point in Purple Urkel even continuing in this fight at this point, because even if he does land the perfect shot, the most it's going to do is get a rock. That's all it's going to do. I mean, he's shooting a takedown now, but well, maybe I spoke too soon.
Honestly, right, if he pulls this back with that level of stamina, then all respect is due. This was maybe needed a little bit earlier on in the fight, but like we said, he's a warrior, man. He will continue to bow no matter the odds and look for his way back into the winning position.
Well, here we are. Now he's going for the back, actually. Does get the defense, and that means an easy reversal of Bull Cup Bully now, and this could all be it if you just posture up once. Instead, though, we're up onto the back clinch, and neither of any type of sorts could get an instant KO, but instead, we are on the feet. Body kick gets the stun, digs down to the body, another body shot follows suit.
Just finish it.
It's got to come, right? You know his front kick's coming.
Just finish it.
All right, body kick straight.
Call the police.
Sir, we have witnessed a murder.
Bro, did he say something about his mother? He just beat him like he owed some money. He beat him something bad, bro. I don't know why he had to draw him out like that.
My fucking money.
It will be bleeding blood, pissing blood for a couple of days at least. The amount of body shots he took there, he's definitely injured a couple organs. It's going to be painful to move, let alone breathe.
Visions of that bowl cut
just couldn't take anymore. He's dead.
Honestly, I think that visions of that bowl cut are going to be burned into people's memory for a very, very long time to come after a particularly brutal performance like that. And we've seen Purple Urkel shake it out with the best in there, and he's not had a performance like that. And maybe an off day for him. Maybe Bull Cup Bully has just ended up becoming just that goddamn good, or even just a stylistic matchup. But either way, a fantastic performance for him, Doc, and it sets us beautifully up for our co-main and main event of the evening. Why don't you run us down, brother? We got some crazy fights ahead of us.
Indeed. A slight change from the Grappa. Instead of the ever mighty TMF Noggin, we have Killer Jake stepping in for tonight against the ever mighty Slick Colt. Both of these guys will be in the welterweight division. They're aggressive, they're wild, they're both veterans of the game all the way back dating to UFC 3, to the point where I even made my primetime debut against Slick Colt back in the old IFA days of all things. And so I'm well experienced in man. He's a grappler, he's abusive on the ground, not as abusive as some BFAT members I know, but he's definitely up there in terms of how abusive he can be. Killer Jake, on the other hand, is a striker of the gods. He will throw something, he'll wait for you to counter, and then counter your counter, basically. And so both of them are wild. You got the main event as well of Dirty Dave versus TFA Dragon. Both former teammates, a part of the ICB camp, both went their own way. Dragon went to join up with AGS, then turned into TFA. Dave, on the other hand, was BFAP, then EK, then back to BFAP again. And so both of these are known, both of them are well versed in their games as well, and both of them are true vets of the community. All four of them are fantastic fighters. Both of them match up, so it's going to be a fun time here, mate.
I honestly can't wait. Slick, obviously mainly known for his grappling ability, but his striking is still on the top level of this game. Obviously, I don't think it's on the same level as Killer Jake striking. Killer Jake, just known for that. He mainly works the body with the striking, it seems, but I'm going to be interested to see how they match up on the feet. I think Killer Jake wants to keep this on the feet, though, because if it hits the ground, I do believe that Slick has a significant advantage for as long as it stays on there. But we're seeing some interesting picks here. Neil Magny, Mike Perry, Looney.
I think that, quite honestly, these two guys match up very, very well against each other. Like you said, stylistically, kind of polar opposites. Both guys are able to do it all, okay? It's not that Killer Jake can't grapple. My God, that guy can grapple. It's not like Slick Colt cannot strike, because he can strike. But
he's been training EK Spider. The man knows his entire game.
Exactly, right? They're both, but they have their own specialties. And that's what we're about to see here this evening. Killer Jake, actually coming back from a suspension, I do believe, is now stepping in on short notice up against what I would like to call the bot master, the guy that honestly knows the ins and outs of the grappling world and likes to implement that in its fullest array. But he doesn't just rush there. He does not just rush there, Maddie. He will take his time, work his all-round striking game, and set those takedowns up, whether it be the ankle pick or otherwise, to kind of be deceptive in the way that he plays.
I mean, Slick kind of strikes with you until you get comfortable in the striking, and then it goes boom, takedown, and then you're on your back and you're getting fucking crucifixed. That's what he wants to do. But you're seeing Jake come out a bit aggressive here, instantly putting the pressure on. Let's see if he's able to let those hands rip. Slick lands a nice leg kick, maybe trying to stay a little bit more on the kickboxing range, try and pick him apart. That would serve him well with Magny. Doc, what do you think both of these fighters need to do to win?
Well, Magny has got the range. That is one thing you've got to know. Magny is very long. He's lanky and long, and that's what you want to be doing. Mike Perry, on the other hand, is brawly. We've seen Bang Bang use him in the title fight once against the ever notorious Filthy Uncle Ben. And so you know the danger of Mike Perry is always there if someone like Bang Bang's using him. So you got the power of Perry versus the length of Magny here. Lovely push takedown though, does get defended, and that is the type of shots you see from both the high-level takedowns of Slick, whilst also the defense of Killer Jake here, Looney.
Yeah, speaks testaments to their abilities. Obviously, Killer Jake used to people trying to shoot in on those legs. When you've got silky smooth boxing like he does, most people do not want to duke it out on the feet. But Slick Colt showing that he's not any kind of slouch on the feet either here, Maddie. He's working a kickboxing game against somebody that's traditionally a boxer, and he's doing so almost flawlessly. That outside leg kick, you can already see the welt on Mike Perry's leg.
I mean, yeah, he is having a lot more success with the leg kicks, but I think these little short shots from Killer Jake, they're the ones which are mattering right now. You can see the head health difference it's very slight, but it is there already in favor of Killer Jake. But I think Slick's just starting to come in and find his range with these kicks now, Doc.
Yeah, and that's what you want to be doing. It's going to take you a bit. He's only taking 3 minutes of the round, and when taking that long against someone like Killer Jake is a fairly quick time, because Killer Jake's got a lot of nosy striking a lot better overall. It might be Jake is just a lot more accustomed. He's wild, he's weird, he's a bit mental, and now Slick is starting to put his pressure on. He's starting to get a bit more comfortable with the length of Magny, especially in the pocket, and that's kind of what you're going to be doing, because the length, if you're the longer fighter, is going to take a longer time to hit your opponent in the pocket here, Lou.
Oh, for certain, man. But I'm liking the shot selection from both guys. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Maddie. The bodywork from Mike Perry, also known as Killer Jake in this instance, is absolutely beautiful as you see him go to it once again. But the trades are actually, in a lot of these cases, seemingly going the way of Slick Colt up until that one right there. I just feel like he's choosing some better shots and varying head, body, and leg very, very well here, Maddie.
I mean, it's such an even fight. You can tell both these fighters, pardon me, know exactly what they're doing, when to throw the right shots, and right now they're just trying to make the read. I think there will come a point at one.
Look at that, bro! Did you just see that?
It's lovely, slick bit of head movement there for both fighters, but I think at one point you will have a moment where there's a big rock, and from there it might be a bit more one-way traffic, dog.
I would agree. Killer Jake so far has looked a better fighter, I think, and it's purely just from the power he has had. He's just had a lot more power done. He's done a lot more damage overall, and that is kind of what you want if you're fighting someone like Slick Colt. Do the damage early to then lead on to later rounds being a lot easier for you, Looney.
Yeah, exactly right. And the one thing I will say, though, Slick Colt's sort of style is a style that has a high kind of stamina consumption, and the way that Killer Jake goes to the body can cause a lot of problems, but he tends to be headhunting here this evening, at least in the early part of this second round, Matty D, and he got a lot of damage off on Neil Magny, and this may be a little bit of a turning of the tides if he's able to crack that chin and really start to put his kind of fighting warrior will to the test.
I mean, every single time you see either of these fighters have some sort of success in any realm, it switches up like there. Killer Jake had some beautiful little blistering shots in there, and then Slick gets the clinch and then starts getting his head health flashing from there. The head health is slowly trickling down on both sides, and I think it's going to come to a point where they're trading knockdowns.
Maybe the body work, though, of Killer Jake is... I think we mentioned it a few times now, is probably the biggest effect here. I think if Slick's not careful, he's attempted double takedowns, but so far nothing's really landed. He doesn't really seem that committed to them either. It's kind of just mix up the game, hopefully trying to get some read. Jake on the back foot, but he comes forward and then lands those type of stray pieces and just make sure to always clip the body at the end, and that is what you want to do when you're someone like Jake fighting Slick Colt. You work the stamina early on, you work the stamina just in general, you're going to have a lot easier time, especially when it comes to the takedown shots and generally the grappling here, Looney.
Yeah, look, even if the fight isn't 100% going your way, you keep it absolutely even every step, and it keeps your opponent honest. And that's exactly what each guy are doing. They're very, very evenly matched, and you can see big damage landing on both sides of this octagon here, Matty D. And it's due to, like I said, the shot selection from these guys. They're choosing the right shots at the right times. And that time, he gets the takedown with 2 minutes to work, brother. That is a long time for somebody like Slick Colt to work their game.
This is where you see the singling out moment of this fight, and this is it, Slick's takedown. And I think, based off the amount of time on the clock and knowing Slick's ability, this is going to be where the rest of this round takes place. So I think that's definitely going to be around for Slick Colt. I don't know how the first round went, but we're going to have to...
Bro, he may not make it out the next minute. He may not make it out the next minute. People think the Slick is, like just a wrestler. But, bro, he goes after finishes on the mats. Here, dog, he will ground pound submit you.
Who has been in this position on his debut fight in OFL, his first proper league fight, or using rakes, people. I know his position all too well. And
That's it.
Yeah.
I told you, do not sleep on this guy on the mat. He does not waste time. He doesn't waste time, bro. He needed a minute.
There is one person who I deem more abusive than Slick Colt on the ground, and that is BFAP Styles. Styles is the only other person who is possibly more abusive than Slick.
Much love to the OG Styles, Elvis himself. I'm sure he'll be back one day, but you're absolutely right, man. Those BFAP boys, they are built for that ankle picking. They're all about that jits, brother. They're all about the wrestling. They've put the time in on the mat, and I mean, my God, it pays dividends. You've got to love. I know that you're a striker out here, Maddie. I know that you appreciate the striking more than anything, but you've got to appreciate grappling like that. The ability to be so efficient, so aggressive in such a chaotic moment. That was a work of art, bro.
Oh, pardon me. I'm still a bit stunned because that finish just seemed to come out of nowhere. All of a sudden, a little bit of red flash, and then it's just fucking our Yeah, I'm surprised. Obviously, as you say, I'm a striker, but I've got to appreciate a lovely bit of grappling like that. That was beautiful top mount control and just kept him there as soon as he got it, Doc.
Yeah, and that's kind of Slick's entire style. He will strike with you, he'll strike with you, he'll fire a couple of takedowns, and as soon as he's got the takedown, he's happy. Like, it's just the case. Like, as soon as you're down on the mat, he's happy. You're not going to get back up. It's a bit like fighting Damian Maia. Like, he's got striking to... His striking exists. It's decent enough. In Slick case, it's a bit better than Damian Maia's. But he struggles a bit on the takedown. But once you're down on the mat, you're down on the mat. You're not getting back up until the end of the round.
Yeah, I mean, the Bot Master once again gets his hands raised in Primetime MMA. Congratulations to him and respect to Killer Jake for taking that fight on short notice up against such a tough opponent. Looked fantastic out there after such a long time off. I'm sure we'll see him back better than ever, dialed in with a full camp behind him. Be interesting to see what he's able to do. But that does, Matty D and Doctor Who, take us on to the main event of this fucking evening. It is Fight Night 46. We are here between the one and only BFAP Dirty Dave, another man that is built for that ankle picking, up against the one and only TFA Dragon. I'm sure that you know these guys very, very well, Matty D. High level competitors. Doesn't cut it when you're comparing these two.
Oh, of course. These two they've been mainstays of Primetime for God knows how long. I was saying it earlier. Fought both of them numerous times. Both brilliant fighters. Dirty Dave, brilliant wrestler, brilliant top control no matter what. Got perfectly good striking and mixed in as well. But Dragon, he's an awkward striker. He mixes shit up on the feet well, and he catches you off guard with some wild shit at times, Doc. So it's going to be interesting to see how the styles match up here.
Well, to run you down the styles, as you mentioned there, Dave, striker and wrestler. He's a full MMA artist, so he's Dragon to not discredit either of them there. However, Dave's speciality is the grappling. He'll work any aspect he needs to get the win. He's got an incredible fight IQ, but where he wants it to be on the ground and used to stay there. However, Crazy Dragon, he puts the pressure on. He's not going to stop. He will go full speed ahead of you and just never stop. So the way to beat Crazy Dragon is to kind of get the counters off. The way to beat Dave, don't let him get the takedown, and that's kind of probably what you're going to see here. Grappler versus striking exchange, I'm expecting, Looney.
Yeah, look, Crazy Dragon's going to try and take this fight by an absolute blistering finish. This guy knows no other way than forward with his hand raised. But as you said, up against one of the guys that is so composed, he drills in the back, works on the back, works against the AI, and his inputs are as crispy clean as they can possibly get, Matty D. And you're seeing already that these guys are willing to duke it out with zero feeling out process. Quite genuinely, 23 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock, and they're already throwing barn burner shots to start us out.
I mean, it seems to be that Dragon's kind of walking into a lot of these shots to start off. Walks into a takedown there, gets slammed onto the mat. Now we're in Dave's world. Let's see how Dragon's able to survive off of his back, Dog.
Well, and Deny in side control already. The elbows are coming out. Dave's going to stay patient. He's going to stay slow, and he's not going to rush anything. Getting the crucifix with full GA. 3 minutes left on the clock to work. That's a long time. But now we're going to side. You've got back sitting and side control again as the option. Probably going to look for the backside and maybe try to get back on his feet. He ends up on his hand and knees, and he can get the get up from there. But Dave will probably be wise to that as well, so he's got to make note of that when the time comes. So hello, gets a Deny there as well, Looney.
We are, honestly, this is kind of more of where Dirty Dave wants to be, quite clearly, right? I mean, he gets his bread buttered in the grappling world as, good as he is on the feet. This is uncharacteristic, Matty, to see Crazy Dragon have this much difficulty on the mat, but that talks to the pedigree of Dirty Dave as he is slicing those elbows into the dome of Crazy Dragon.
Crazy Dragon's getting absolutely mauled on the ground. The side control game was on point, manages to escape, but instantly, now he takes the back, looking for the posture up. Let's see how much damage he's able to get off, because he's already done a canny bit of head health damage, considering this is the first round, Doc.
Well, in terms of damage, he hasn't done that much. I'll be honest, like he's landed to side control elbow.
For the first round.
even then, there's bigger amounts of shots. You saw how quickly something can go from 0 to nothing. It's more about the denies here. That's what Dave has succeeded. He's got a lot of denies. He's managed to hold very good positions. The issue is he just hasn't got a lot of damage off, and I don't know if that's because Dave's not particularly looking for it, more looking to hold position, which generally Dragon's ability just to keep it calm, keep it simple, and just make sure his defense is high. However, I say that we enter into top mount here, Lunas.
Yeah, I think it's partially due to the respect factor from somebody like Dirty Dave, but he's also such an intelligent fighter that he will not explode in half guard or full, the full guard, because he knows that his opponent is more easily able to block, deflect those shots, and even get the reversal or the separation. So he was able to maintain that, top control for quite a long time. And what we just saw right there is that Dirty Dave is fantastic on the mat. But it is all about who's on top there, Matty, because if he's put on his back, it could look exactly the same from somebody like Crazy Dragon, who showed in the past that he can hang with the best of them if he's able to get his opponents down there.
I mean, it seems to be that Crazy Dragon wants his fight on the feet. He's pushing forward. He's trying to even out that damage right now. So clearly, I don't know if he's confident in his ability to hold Dave down, but it would serve him dividends to maybe try to end of a round. See what he can do, potentially, because even on the feet, he's not having all of his way.
Yeah, he's not having all his way, but he's having fun. Both of them are having some success. The leg kicks are coming out here, but again, Dave's got a couple more checks to jab straight there. Dave is on the back foot. If Crazy Dragon can get a read on it, that's going to be the idea here. But so far, Dave is content with just staying on the back foot, looking for the shots to open and really putting on the pressure here.
Lovely work. He's chopping that left leg. Beautifully of Cody Garbrandt, but the combinations from Crazy Dragon. We spoke about Lepo and being part of TP in the past, technical pressure. So was Crazy Dragon. This man knows how to get those combinations going, but having a little bit of an issue with the way that Dillashaw is responding. It's been a very, very good job of the defensive striking on display, Matty, from Dirty Dave.
I mean, Dirty Dave obviously has some striking, but he's a wrestler. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows he's a wrestler. So when you put him, when he's under pressure, when he's getting walked down, he is a bit uncomfortable, but he is doing some good work off of his back foot right now. He get a little trip with the leg kick. The legs of Crazy Dragon are getting completely mashed up, as you can see. The slip hook is finding its hole for Dragon, but he gets dropped with a beautiful slip.
Yes, sir, I think composure is the name of the game for Dirty Dave. In virtually any performance you see him, he has such a measured approach, Doctor, that it can be difficult for his opponents to get back into a fight once they find themselves at a slight disadvantage. But front kicks like that, and big damage should he be able to land it, is definitely the way for Crazy Dragon to get back into it, because he is struggling right now and fighting a little bit of an uphill battle.
I mean, maybe Garbrandt needs to go full Garbrandt here, stick your chin out in the air and just weak shots, hoping to kill someone. It definitely seems like that may be the idea. The hooks are succeeding, the block is low, and that's what he wants to be doing. Another straight there lands a lead hook. A takedown attempt, though, by Dirty Dave is exactly his style, because as soon as he gets scared, as soon as he gets a bit worried of his opponent, he's just going to shoot a takedown. Stay calm, make sure he wins the round here with 50 seconds left on the clock. That seems to be Dave's idea.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all there, Matty. You say scared. I say calculated. He sees that his opponent is trying to weather an offensive output. He decides to take that opportunity away from him in a fight that he's clearly ahead in. He has veteran savvy, bro. If he can take this fight later, I mean, he's so ahead in stamina. It's not getting any easier for Dragon, is it?
Yeah. It's not, and that leg, reducing his powers, not going to help. Drop with a leg kick. This is turning into a clinic from Dave, Doc.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of Dave's entire style, as I've been referencing to his fight IQ. He knows what strikes to fire, where to really find the shots, and he's not going to force anything to happen. He will let it come naturally. If he forces anything to happen, he's evidently emotional, and I think the one thing Dave isn't, with the amount of time he spends in the practice room, is emotional in a leg fight.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm liking, honestly, the block breaking from Crazy Dragon. You can see it having an effect on Dirty Dave's block as a whole, but he just has to make sure that he capitalizes on that should he get the opportunity here, because he only has one or two big flurries left in him due to that left leg and head health that is quite clearly compromised at this point, Maddie.
I think it would serve Dirty Dave to push for a finish a little bit more here. He does have a lot of advantage, but it only takes one little moment from Crazy Dragon, especially with this pressure when he's got him up against the cage, so he won't be able to find the pullbacks as easier. I think Dave will be right to push for the finish now that he's got him in this vulnerable position, Doc.
Yeah, and that is how you want to be doing it. If you're vulnerable, your opponent, you're like an animal backed into a corner, and that's kind of what Dragon's doing here. But instead, he's the one being the aggressive. He's backed in the corner, so he's forced to put on this pressure on making sure that Dave's options are limited as he can be. But Dave, even then, he's finding any options he can. The head kick works into legs now, and it's already blinking. Both legs blinking. That power's gone.
Why is he attacking the legs? He rocked him to the head. He's got a significant head health advantage and stamina. Why was he going to the legs? Go for the head. There might be a finish there for you.
Yeah, well, Dave isn't looking for a finish. He'll happily take a decision. It's Dave's entire style, and you got to imagine, Looney, if you're Dave right now, you're content, you are happy to let this fight play out wherever it will.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be interested to check at some point, but I feel like Crazy Dragon came into this fight here this evening, and he maybe had somewhere to be because he fought with a vengeful pace, zero feeling out, and honestly, seemingly wanted to get this fight over as soon as it started, Matty, and that's not the approach against somebody like Dirty Dave, who is so calculated, so measured, that if you don't clip him early, he's going to take away all of your tools across a full 25 minutes.
If there's someone who's not going to get bored over the 25 minutes occasion, it's Dirty Dave. Laser-like focus throughout the entire full duration of the fight, and that's what you're seeing right now. Crazy Dragon obviously rushing things, which isn't paying him any favours at all, and it's just doing what Dave wants, Doc.
Yeah, but we see a clinch engaged there, takes the back, now looking to go for the drag, but we drop there and gets slammed on his... Lets him do some damage to the already hurt body health, gets flipped over into the backside, not much less longer on the clock, but he's going to attempt to be a ground pound, disengages instead, and now we're back onto the feet. The legs, though, are getting chopped to shit, is the only way you can really put it here, Looney.
Yes, sir, honestly, like I said, man, he has taken away all of the tools that Crazy Dragon has. The head health compromised, the leg health compromised. He will continue to chop up that body, then going up top or down low, Matty. I feel bad for Crazy Dragon, but I don't want to count him out, man. Like you said earlier, one big flurry, one big connection, and he could change the tides of this fight entirely. But it's going to be tough, bro. Look at that.
I mean, I don't know if he even can at this point because of the leg health. The leg level's taken away so much power. He's a sitting duck, and I don't know if there is much that he can do in return.
Oh,
you see, he's just landed a big Cody overhand. It's done nothing, but he does get a leg rock of his own.
Yeah, he checked that one, but this is too little, too late, brother. Too little, too late. That's got to be it.
Don't work the body, Dave. Punch him in the head.
My fucking God. Just go for the finish, man.
That is the most probably the dirtiest Dave combination I have ever seen from him in terms of the grappling for the finish. That's the way he is, bro, and that's why he gets to it. Well, you mentioned it, Maddie. That's why he's in the top 10 all the time, my man. It's because he doesn't take high amounts of risk. He just edges his way towards victory, taking it millimeter by millimeter with laser focus, like you said, until you have nothing left in your gas tank.
You see, the thing is, though, I don't know if there is much of a risk of him going for a finish right now, because there's moments where he's just got all of this stamina in the world.
It's the safest line. You can understand it at the top, Mountain though, and
that's what I mean. See, it was the position.
Dragon just kind of gave up there, I think.
No, but that's what he does, bro. That's what he does. He's not just trying to sap you in terms of your head health, your leg health, your body health, or your stamina.
He wants you to tap without physically tapping.
Yeah, he wants to feel that tap through the virtual space of this esports in landscape, and that's what he gets, man. He was 30-26ing, I think that, or 20, whatever it was, man. That was a phenomenal performance for him. He was up against a deserved opponent because, like I said in the past, man. Crazy Dragon is a savage on this game, and he had a really, really bad showing here this evening. Much respect to both competitors as always, but that does bring a conclusion to this evening's event. It has been an absolute pleasure calling the fights alongside the one and only Matty D and of course the ever mighty Doctor Who, Damien Meyer, Maine. We appreciate each and every one of the guys coming through and supporting the channel here this evening. Of course, all of the follows, subs, and raids, of course, from the legendary T4H Zeus. Make sure to check him out. We will be back tomorrow, however, with our primetime pay-per-view event. Saturday, 8:30 British summertime, 3:30 Eastern. Make sure to tune in, have your popcorn and your beers ready. We have an incredible event ahead of us. Until then, make sure to join the raid, show the love within the community, and have a great night. Much love.